it's That Skydive Sim Guy today here with my guests, Tony and Jen. It's not very common, but every once in a while there are some skydiving couples out there, and I'm honored to have you guys both on the show today. How are you?
We're good. Good to be here.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, so you guys are somewhat new to skydiving, right?
Yes, we are. We're very new. We just started last year.
Brand new.
Brand new last year. Tell me, I'm going to start with you, Jen. What was the first experience like?
Pretty amazing. We actually booked a tandem jump for my birthday on the 4th of July, and ever since then we were hooked. So
that's pretty cool. So the first jump was together.
Yeah. Well, we both did a tandem, jump together.
Right.
Yeah.
Jump on the same plane? Same plane and everything?
Yes. And it was so incredible. We did it from 10,000 feet that we booked again a month later on our wedding anniversary in August. And that was the second time it just blew us away. And
is that when you got hooked?
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
we got hooked the first time, but
but the second time, I don't know, it did something to us. And Tony started his AFF right away, and I had to do a couple more tandems to feel confident enough to do my AFF. And we just fell in love with this. So
tell me, Tony, you started AFF right away, like after the first tandem, or
after the second tandem jump? Yep. My second tandem, I jumped with the DZ owner's son, Zach Gwynn, and he told me, you got to do AFF. And I said, you know what? I will. And I didn't even know what AFF was.
You just knew you want to do it?
Yeah. And he told me it's like this training program. It's going to cost some money. And I said, you know what? I'm going to try it. And he told me it's going to be hard doing it in September in Michigan with the winds. But yeah. And then Jenny, she initially wanted to do AFF the next season, but she couldn't wait. So she also started doing, she didn't want to miss out. And she started doing AFF
it was like end
right then too. Yeah.
It was like the end of season. And
is it cold or is it just winds are high?
It's fall,
It's both.
It gets a little chilly end of September, October. So
so they kind of keep you kind of get grounded a lot because of the winds.
Oh my gosh,
right?
all of October. That was an unfortunate thing was I did my AFF 1 and 2. I think it was September 22 or something like that, and passed both of them on the same day. And then it was after that, just the winds were so bad. And then, it was end of season, and we were on a student hold and we couldn't jump. So yeah.
I relate to that. When I was in AFF, it's like I would get there some days and it's beautiful, and I'm like, I'm ready to go, and they're like, you can't go, the winds are too strong. Right. I'm like, I think I'll be fine. But to be honest, after I got my rating and I was jumping, I did some of those days where it's a bit iffy, and I was just like, man, it's true what they say. I don't want to be up there wishing I was on the ground. I'd rather be down there watching others. Yeah. So, I've become super conservative now. It's like 15 miles per hour wind. If it goes above that, I'm kind of like, well, I don't know. Do I really want to go? So I don't. The one time that I went, it was somebody's 200 jump, and it was a twin otter. So a lot of us on that plane. The pilot even stopped on the runway before taking off and said, the gusts are at 28 miles per hour. Does anybody want to get off? Everybody just looked at each other. I was like, well, I don't want to be the only one. So we all went, and then elevator down. It's like, it was not a good feeling coming down from that one.
Wow.
Yeah, so I totally feel what you guys are feeling. Tell me a little bit more about your DZ. It seems like you guys have such a good relationship with them. You said you went with the owner's son.
Yeah.
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 That's like one of our favorite parts is just all the people there. We call it our Sky Fam. We love partying with them. We love hanging out there. Yeah.
They're our friends.
We made a lot of friends there. Yeah.
Are you guys close, like as far as distance-wise to the house?
We're about like an hour away.
An hour away. Okay, so it is still a drive. Do you guys ever stay? I know you have kids and stuff.
No, we either bring them with us, find a babysitter, or I don't know, figure it out.
Yeah. We don't really stay overnight there. It's not that far.
Yeah.
But we stayed there very late.
Yes.
Oh, got you.
It's hard. Like,
for me,
there are friends and like, we love to stick around after, jumps and stuff like that and hang out with our friends. And yeah.
For me, it's about a 40-minute drive, I want to say, to one of the home DZs, which is Skydive Spaceland Houston here, where I got my rating. And then I'm lucky enough that Galveston is only an hour away, and you can jump on the beach, which is, beach jumps anytime that I feel like, or the weather is good for
That's
it.
pretty cool. Yeah.
That is super cool, having two DZs that close.
A Skydive Grand Haven's like right on Lake Michigan. So it's absolutely stunning. Like beautiful. To see like this big, beautiful lake, in Freefall. And under
That's nice because most DZs that you probably go to are in the middle of a country where you just have land around you. So
like there's not a lot of things to look at, right?
Yeah, we see that lake every time we jump. It's a gorgeous view.
It takes you away, and it took us away, obviously.
I bet it just took you guys and said, "Give us all your money."
Yeah,
that's how skydiving goes, right? Yeah. So I also noticed that your DZ seems to be very hip on technology and stuff. You had posted a picture. I saw they actually have a hanging harness with a VR setup and everything. Tell me a little bit about that.
I don't know what to say about that. They use a different simulator.
Yep. When we started
VR,
AFF there, they part of the ground school training is they had us use Skydive VR. That game.
You don't free fall in it. You just start out under canopy.
But it really helps you as far as like visualizing a bit.
Yeah.
I think it helped me a little bit. Yeah. It's not as good as Skydive Sim.
You don't have to say that because I'm here.
Well, I mean, it's true. I've played Skydive Sim a lot, and I've played that other game too, and it is a big difference.
Well, we target more towards gaming, I feel like, and that one's more training based.
I think the free fall part is,
I haven't used it.
The difference between the two. So, I mean, because there's no free fall with the other simulator.
I don't think they have Google Maps as well.
So we have some scenes in Skydive Sim that are kind of based on real world that we built, but obviously, like as soon as we put the real world, the Google Earth stuff. I mean, I have not been to one of those scenes in a while myself. I'm sure nobody even uses it anymore. It's like, okay, why not just go experience? I mean, even if not a DZ, like landmarks around the world, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, I know you guys been with us when we jump mountains and we jump over all sorts of cool places that Brian takes us to.
Oh, yeah.
Has that been fun for you guys? You guys learn anything?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, actually. Yes. I think we did the Grand Tetons, and that was amazing.
Yeah. Brian's a really good guide as well. He's just he knows about so much that, I mean, he's basically giving you a tour from the moment you're on the balloon and then you jump and then
I know, and I feel like it's funny. He was like, we know so little.
I feel like you guys, I've seen your progression the very first times that you guys were on, and then as the weeks went by, I noticed you guys are keeping up really good.
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe it is helping.
I think it is. And I mean, the truth will be known, I guess, once when we
once you're back out
AFF. There. But I think that it's helping. I think it's going to prove that it helps because maybe that's another interview. After when we do
for sure.
AFF and
pressure is on, though, so you got to make sure you guys land safe.
But I practiced, how I would do it in the real world.
Yeah, we practiced our DZ.
All winter I've been practicing. So
okay, great. So that should help a lot with accuracy and things like that. Of course, the nerves will get to you once you're in the real world. So that's a whole different story.
It's like you can control the winds and the direction of it, just like how you would, how it would normally at Skydiving. Right. So, I sort of adjusted that way and my landing pattern and everything else. And so that's how I practice it. So I think it's good practice.
Are you using the gusts as well to where it just kind of shifts on you and stuff? Yeah, the first time we added that and I jumped, I was trying to land somewhere and it just pushed me last second, which I was like, no, I feel like I'm in the real world again.
Oh, no.
It does, yeah.
But it's good practice, I think. So
I think so too. So tell me jump numbers. I think, how many are you at, Tony, now?
I got 7 total jumps, and my next jump is AFF 4.
Okay, cool. How about you, Jen?
I have 9 jumps, and my next jump is AFF level 3.
Now, I saw something you posted the other day. I got to ask you about it. I saw that you guys were at the DZ and you were doing a tandem. Tell me how that came to be.
Honestly, I went to my DC to rig because I've gotten to rigging over the winter. And so I was repacking a reserve, and one of the tandem instructors came up to me and asked me to be his front ride.
Did you act all crazy just to mess with him or no?
No, I pulled for him.
Oh, really?
At 6,000 feet. Yeah, it was absolutely fun. It was very cold. It was probably like maybe on the, I don't know, like 5 degrees at 14,000 feet altitude.
5 degrees.
It was very cold. I was
5 degrees Fahrenheit?
It was really cold.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It was like 45 on the ground.
It was opening day for our drop zone, so it was incredibly cold. But
man, I have not gone when it's cold out. I've become the guy that, it's a little bit wet out there. I don't want to get my shoes wet. It's a little cloudy, a little too windy. I used to go. I remember when I first got licensed, there was a day that was similar to what you're talking about. It was so cold. They were telling us put 3 layers of gloves, like surgical gloves.
I had gloves on. I had triple layer clothes on. I mean, it was still pretty darn cold. But
it
was
is.
pretty amazing.
You kind of forget about it, I guess, while you're in freefall. But man, under canopy, that's when it really gets you.
It's kind of funny. In freefall, you can't really tell.
Yeah,
it's just when you're standing at the door of the plane and you're like, wow, and feeling the wind. You're like, this is pretty cold. But then once when you jump out and everything, it's like you just sort of forget about how cold it is. We're actually scheduled booked to do our our next AFF jumps on May 3rd, which is in 2 weeks.
Okay, so when you guys do the AFF, so Tony, do you go on the same plane and you guys go?
It depends on how many instructors they have there. But yeah, we
could be on the same plane.
We always want to be on the same plane, but they got we'd have to have 3 available AFF instructors for us to do on the same plane.
He's single-sided right now, and so level 3 is the last 2 instructor jump.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's hit or miss, but you guys are having fun of it. It's, it's not very common, as I said, especially starting together. I've met a lot of skydivers that they meet at the DZ and then they date.
Right.
But you guys started the adventure together, so that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. So we both fell in love with this, yeah.
And you even go to iFly, and you took your 7-year-old with you, right?
Yeah, she flew in the tunnel. Yep.
She loved it.
Yep.
Yeah.
She actually
is she going to be a skydiver?
I hope so.
Oh, that's in a long time. If she wants to, she says she wants to,
So 7 years, 11 years from now. Yeah. Where's she going to, in Europe, they actually, so in Netherlands, I know in particular, you can jump as long as there's a height requirement. I don't know if you guys saw that episode I did. So this guy, he's 15 and now he's working on his AFF, but you can do your first tandem as long as you're tall enough, which is pretty cool. Would you guys let her if that was available?
Yeah. I would.
Yeah. If she's tall enough. Yeah.
Tandems are relatively safe, so.
Yeah. Yeah. We really trust the tandem instructors that we've jumped with. They're all really, really professional.
They've had
really
thousands of jumps.
Right. Yeah.
They're very educated. They know what they're doing.
These guys are good. We would definitely trust them.
Absolutely. Yeah. If that's what she can do. Yeah.
So tell me this. I mean, I see your posts. We've all been Facebook friends for a while. It looks like Jen cooks for you quite a bit and really dresses up those plates. Let's talk about that a bit.
Yeah. I'm really lucky. My wife used to be a fine dining chef, and she went to culinary school. She used to work at fancy restaurants. So she's really, really good at cooking just anything.
I'm a stay-at-home mom now, so
that explains those plates that you shoot.
She used to work at really fancy restaurants, and she makes just amazing everything: steak, chicken, veggies, seafood, and yeah, she makes it look like you're at a fancy place. I guess that's
it looks that way. Yeah, every time you guys post food, I get hungry, and I'm like, man,
Sorry.
I guess I eat my sandwich now.
Just earlier tonight, she just made this chicken breast in this sauce, and with yeah, she makes the veggies just like perfectly crispy, like they're never mushy. And she uses like a thermometer to like temp the chicken. So the chicken is like perfectly juicy every time. Like, yeah.
Oh man.
No, it's
and
great.
she skydives.
And she skydives.
That's right.
Yeah.
Let me ask you. So you've been doing, Jen, you've been doing a lot of, it looks like you're packing reserves, older reserves and stuff. What's that about? Is that just something you want to learn, or do you want to become a rigger?
That was the thing. Like, this all started when we couldn't jump back in October, very end of the season. We couldn't jump all of October because of the winds and stuff in Michigan. So middle of October, I realized that, hey, we do have to learn how to pack. To get your A license, you have to learn how to pack parachutes. So that's when I started taking interest in learning how to pack. And so I had a couple lessons and stuff like that. And then I kind of got okay at it, and then in December, no, I'm not good. I wouldn't say that.
Better than me.
I just kept doing it. And then, we're friends with the master rigger at our drop zone. And it sort of turned into packing reserves. That was in December. Okay. And so that sort of took off. And now I have, 5 sign-offs for that.
Nice.
So yeah, I actually really enjoy it. It's I'm very meticulous as a person, so I really like the details, and I really like taking care and doing that sort of thing. So it's been a really cool.
Do you see yourself going towards that direction to actually get certified rigger, to be a certified rigger?
Yeah, you have to have a written and oral exam, and you have to have 20 sign-offs. So I'm like quarter of the way there. So I don't know if that's going to happen this season, but maybe next. But
right,
we'll see.
How about you, Tony? Are you learning to pack a lot?
I'm just learning to pack mains, not even close to. I mean, I'm still learning.
I've tried teaching them.
Jenny can do a main in like 8 minutes. Like,
oh wow,
yeah, she's fast. I'm just trying to like not get myself killed up there.
I did about 300 pack jobs during the off season. So on various rigs.
Yeah, we have lots of rigs at our house.
Not so much anymore.
People let us use. Right. Yeah, and we bought a used rig just for practice. So.
Yes, that rig is for you.
Yeah.
But I've had a ton of practice.
Is it a rig that you jump as well, or is it just for packing practice?
Yeah, I mean, I just jumped their student rig so far.
Same way.
Yeah.
But
through the AFF course.
But yeah, this will be a rig that it's my size, so it's something I'll be able to jump.
We bought it from our master rigger, so
our friend Tom.
Yeah.
Wow, it sounds like you guys are like a family there at that drop zone. Everybody's just watching out for you guys being newcomers and just helping out, and
it's
teaching you as much.
They're so friendly, and it's a great community at Skydive Grand Haven. Yeah.
We've really connected with so many people there. Like, it's pretty amazing.
So either one of you, have you guys thought about becoming an instructor at some point?
Not yet.
That's pretty far away. We got to get our A license first.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to become, I think, next season, not this season, but next season, I definitely want to become a senior, rigger.
She definitely will at the rate that she's going at.
But
she definitely will do that.
About like being some sort of instructor.
Yeah, I see myself as being like a front jumper for a while. But honestly, just want to get good at that.
I didn't see myself rigging at the very start of this. So I can't really say. I'm just sort of
Yeah,
I don't know.
Everybody's different. I think for me, I just wanted to do a tandem for my birthday, and that was 9 years ago.
That's so cool. Yeah.
And then I bought the second jump because where I go, they're like, after your first jump, if you want to go again, it's $99 if you buy it and it never expires. So I bought
that's
it.
Nice.
Pretty darn cheap.
And about a month later, I was like, well, I had this dream about, how the earth just smells different. It's just so clean up there. I had a dream where I could just taste the clean air and the blue skies. I was like, I got to go take care of that second jump. So I went and did that. And then I was like, you know what? Maybe I want to do a couple of solo jumps just for bragging rights. So that's how I was like, I'll just do a couple of AFF jumps. Okay. And then it's like, well, maybe I get licensed. And then next thing, I'll buy a parachute. Maybe I do this. And then you just get hooked.
Then you get hooked.
Yeah.
And
draws you.
I mean, it was, I would go, because it's so close to me, I would go at least twice a week. And where I go, Spaceland has bigger planes. So, and they have several. Like if they have more people, they're just going to bring in more planes. So they're just turning those loads. You can do easily, you can easily do 10, 11 jumps there in a day if you really wanted to.
At our DC, so which is very nice.
Very nice.
We talk about stuff.
Yeah, and those are fast. Yeah, those are fast, huh?
Yeah, it gets you up to altitude pretty darn quick.
8 minutes, and you're at 14,000.
It's pretty fast.
Wow. That's the bad thing about the Twin Otters. They're just so slow. They fit more people. Yeah. But I don't like them too much. I've jumped out of one King Air, which was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was fast. And they took us to 17.5, I think.
Okay,
which was pretty cool.
It can take the King Air that's at our drop zone can take us up to 17,000.
Tell me more about anything you want about skydiving.
It's crazy. I mean, gosh, I don't know.
There's so much to learn.
It's so fast.
It's a lot. We put a bunch of time in the tunnel in the winter.
Yes, an hour and a half.
And we met a lot of skydivers from other DZs there. It was really nice to meet.
Connected with so many different people, like from so many different drop zones, and that's really cool. So it's a very small community, skydiving.
So the iFly you go to, how many drop zones are within that area?
Oh my gosh!
There's one right by there called Tacrumish.
That's in Michigan.
Okay. Yeah.
Which we don't go to. It's kind of close to us, but Skydive Haven's close.
We'll check all those others out once we have our license.
Yeah.
But there's people there from Indiana, Ohio, from Chicago. Mm-hmm. And we made a lot of friends there.
Yeah, which is nice to meet.
And then once you're licensed, you'll be hitting up all those DZs.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. That is a lot of fun. I mean, skydiving is fun. After a while, though, it's kind of like being in the game. And if you're jumping at the same drop zone, it just becomes like the same map. And it can get boring. It's like, okay, normally you have similar wind patterns. You don't think so?
That's
you don't
what's cool about the Skydive Sim is that
I was about to say
my friends that we met, I guess at the iFlights that we went to or whatever over the course of the winter, so a lot of them being in Ohio and stuff, I'm just like, oh, what, drop zone are you from? And so then they tell me, and then I'd go back home and then I'd get in the Skydive Sim and kind of test it out. Like,
you go visit their sim. Yep.
This is this place in Indiana, just to see what it looks like. So it's actually kind of cool that you can kind of like visually see it, even though it's not like real life, but visually see and kind of like test it out and try it out. Before you actually go to a drop zone, which we haven't done yet. But it was kind of cool to like see what they're seeing.
I will say this. I guess I haven't, that's something I haven't even had a chance to try myself because I haven't been to drop zones that I hadn't been to before since we added the Google Earth stuff. Mm-hmm. But for example, we did this promotion with New Balance in Miami. And
how did that go?
They wanted us to land in front, to create it to where it would automatically land you in front of the venue that they were having. So I had to go look that up on Google Earth. And then it took me about 3 tries, I want to say, because I would get on the goggles and this is a city. So it's a little different than a drop zone. And I'm like, where was that building? Where was it? So I would get off and look again. But it really helped me understand the geography of the area from above. To where when I was actually flying for the event there and the plane just happened to go around that area, I was like, oh, I know where I am, because I had been in the sim and I had seen it from above with the goggles and flown it down. So that's a pretty neat feature
I think so too.
I think will help a lot of people as far as
you
going
can like
to a
sort
new
of try
drop
out different
zone.
drop zones, kind of see it before you actually like jump there.
Yeah,
I think that's really cool.
Practice your leg.
You can practice.
Yeah,
it before
exactly. Practice that, and also it's something about seeing it in VR that feels like, okay, you have landmarks that you automatically set in your
and it's in your brain,
mind.
And now you know what to look out for. When you actually
exactly,
really do it.
Exactly.
I mean, because comparing it to our DZ, it looks just like it. It's what you see from the plane is what you see in the goggles.
The only thing that's like missing is like the wind, and other factors.
Right.
Like
you got to hook up a fan.
Pretty darn close.
I'll give the credit to Google Earth for that, because they have mapped the entire Earth, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I know it's kind of late over there for you guys, and an hour later than it is for me, so I don't want to keep you guys long. I really appreciate you guys coming on. Do you want to add anything before we go?
Gosh, I don't know. I'm super excited to start the season already. I mean, we already started it, but I can't wait. We want to get our A licenses this summer. And I just, after getting a taste of it a couple days ago, like I just, because I mean, there was a little bit of nerves, after like 6 months of like not jumping,
it is,
right? Especially when you're new,
getting back into the plane again, like unexpectedly, like
it's a little different too.
I can't even explain it. Like
I never got my video on my first tandem because I just didn't want to, and then I had about 200 something jumps when I decided, you know what, I kind of want a tandem video. I was doing something with it at the time. Yeah. So it was kind of like, I talked to the DZ and I said, hey, I want to do a tandem. And they made me a deal on it. And I said, I want the full package. I want the little sticker you give people and the video. So, and I was a little nervous, even though like I'd had that, over 200 jumps at the time, but going with the instructor, it was just different again. It is different.
Tandems are definitely different from jumping solo. And I've only had two jumps.
You can't really move on your own, right?
No, you can't. It's a little different, it was so great to be out in the air again, out in the sky again, just a couple days ago. I missed it all season, like all winter season.
Tony, given the opportunity, would you do another tandem?
I mean, I would. I'm sure she would too. Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's another way of being out in the sky again, and until like the winds are good and stuff. Like, I mean, then we'll do our AFFs, which should be pretty soon.
Right.
Like I said, we're scheduled for May 3rd. We'll see, weather permitting. But I just can't wait. Like, it was so good after the 6 months of like the winter to be back out there again. And there's really nothing like it. There's just, I don't know.
There really isn't. You're right.
You stop at that edge of the door and just, there's fears. Yeah, of course. And I think some of those fears are normal,
Yeah.
And then you just let go and it just takes you in. It takes you in, and it's, the cool,
and then you get so relaxed, right?
Yeah,
it's like
it's amazing.
Leaving the DZ is always most relaxing.
And
it's just
accomplishment, feeling of like what you just did, because most people don't do this. Just it stays with you. It just stays. with you.
I tell everybody you have to do at least one tandem in your lifetime.
Absolutely.
You got to try.
If you don't do any more than that, at least do that one tandem, because it just changes your life for sure.
Right.
It's been life changing for me, for us.
Right. Definitely has. Huh?
Absolutely.
Well, I will catch you guys hopefully in the multiplayer session with Brian.
Right on.
Maybe tomorrow night or
very cool.
Whenever we do that next. And thank you both so much for taking the time to talk to me. I know it's later over there for you guys.
Sure thing. So, thanks for having us.
Have a good night, guys.
Thank you, Mir.
Take care.
See ya. Bye, Mir.